Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Samantha Ray, and I formerly was a florist and just designed flowers all day. Loved it so much, so I thought I should share the enjoyment with all of you. So today we're going to be doing something, well, we're going to be doing a lot of things. So my boyfriend was kind enough to go out and he bought me a lot of flowers. As you can see, much more flowers than I ever purchased all at once, but I'm very, very grateful and very excited to just design with them and have fun. But because there is so many, I am going to break them up, do different things, so I am going to make multiple videos. So with all that being said, as soon as ready, we're going to get started. So I've decided on these two options for my first set of vases, and I'm going to put the floral foam in them. That way I can do something really, really like weird and kind of abstract. This has been soaking in water for a couple hours. I don't know if it's fully, completely drank everything yet, but we're gonna hope for the best. So I'm gonna try, I don't really know how I'm gonna do this yet, because I'm gonna try and use this one for both. And as we've talked about in my other videos, you always want this foam to be above the vase, like above the neck of the vase. That way you can actually get flowers up at an angle, and then that way they come down and kind of trail over the vase. And it gives it a really just like unique detail and something different. So that's how I'm gonna try and do this. I have no idea how that's gonna work, but let's see what we can do. So I'm just gonna start by taking smaller pieces. Yes, and this is making a mess. That's why I have this towel on hand. So I'm gonna cut it and then use this way to kind of fill up the bottom, and that way you can get a lot of water in the bottom. Same with this one, just because this one is a little bit longer, I am gonna use it this way first. Same thing, cut another piece. And do it this way, set that in there. Same thing, set this one on top. I'm gonna do it like this and kind of get it wedged in there so it's a little more secure. Okay, so now that we've got them built up to the top, now I just need to cut this in a way that it can be used in both, which is kind of hard because they're like two completely different shapes. So actually might just cut this in half. Put that one for this one, and then what I'm gonna do, because we want this secure in here so that way it doesn't like fall out when you're trying to water it or move it around, or if you're delivering it to someone, it keeps it more secure. So even though it doesn't fit, we're just gonna push it in. So now it's nice and secure, it's not going anywhere. This is a little high, so I'm gonna kind of use, when I cut the corners down, which is gonna help with watering. That way it doesn't just like go off and onto your table when you water it, unless you're smart and water it in the sink. I guess that would be a thought. But that way it kind of slides down and gets into the base. And I'm gonna use this to also get rid of some of that height Obviously, always cut away from yourself. Okay, so now you see it's not as high. We just have that little top part, which is fine, and now we can just add this way. And so yeah, now we just want to fill that up with water. And we're ready to start designing. So I already know that's going to be a tough fit, and even if I do it diagonally, it's going to be kind of weird. So I am going to just cut a little sliver of it off, not too much. Because I still want a lot of surface. So yeah, that was a little too much, so I'm just going to put it at an angle and shove it in there now. And as I do that, it is spewing water out of the foam, so that's why I probably should do this in the kitchen. And then same thing, cut it at an angle. And it's still a little loose, but I should have just taken it and shoved it straight down before cutting anything off of it. So if you're doing it, just shove it in there. It'll be fine. But this is, I guess, gonna stay here with me and I will enjoy it, so it doesn't need to travel anywhere. So I'm going to prep all the flowers, which just means I'm going to take them out of their packaging, remove any excess leaves or any, dead flowers that I see. So that way when we get to designing the flowers, we can strictly focus on the flowers. So, gonna do that. It's not very fun, but it has to be done. So, here we go. These big, beautiful hydrangeas. Next, we have these little cute buttons. They're part of the chrysanthemum family, and I'm just going to remove the majority of these bottom leaves just because they will get in the water and they will make it very dirty and very unsanitary, and the flowers will not be happy. So we're going to just take them off and definitely help your flowers sustain a life it'll help the life of your flower last much longer, which of course is what we all want. So. For this one, I'm just going to remove the outer packaging and just kind of leave it because it's kind of hard to just break everything apart when it's already combined, and then I'll just pick and choose which flowers I want in which container as I go along, and I'll just prep them like that. So I'll just remove the outer packaging. Next are these very, very tall glads or gladioli. Same thing, gonna remove the outer packaging, remove these bottom leaves, and keep it moving. So we have these sad looking roses. These are actually what I'm going to use right away in the arrangement. That way I can get them straight back into water because they definitely need some help. But same thing, removing all these bottom leaves. Definitely unnecessary because I am going to cut them down extremely short. And moving on to the next one. Alright, so removing the packaging, of course. I think we've established that you probably want to remove the packaging if you're planning on using the flowers in your arrangement. So, same thing, removing all of these bottom leaves, but I am going to keep a few because I do like the texture, and it's going to add a really nice small detail to the arrangement. And yeah. For the baby's breath, same thing, just removing the packaging. Leaving the rest, just gonna pick and choose which pieces I want when I get there. Okay, so I'm finally done prepping all the flowers. So now it's time for the exciting part, which of course is the design aspect of flower arranging. So I've chosen this one to start with, and I've chosen this one to start with. This one I'm going to make very tall and linear. This one, I don't know yet. I'm debating if I want to do something kind of like in a diagonal, so kind of weird and something like that, or if I want to do something just like tight on the top, but I think I'm going to do something diagonal. So we're going to start with that. So because the stem is thicker on this hydrangea, I wouldn't normally put it into the foam. So I'm actually going to just wedge it right between the foam and the vase and not actually stick it in the foam, because it's just going to take up a lot of the foam surface, if that makes sense. And I was a florist for 3 years. I didn't always feel comfortable using a floral knife, so if you don't, scissors is just fine. Just cut it at a diagonal. That way there's a little bit more surface area for the flower to drink. Always, always, always recut your flowers before you put them in the vase, because it's going to be a nice fresh cut for them to start drinking again, and it just will make your flowers much happier. So this one's a little tall, so I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. Remember, you can always cut it down more. You cannot grow it back. So if you're not sure, start short and cut, cut, cut. It's still a little tall. Here we go. Look at those big, beautiful leaves to just add a nice touch. They're so fresh, these hydrangeas. Because these are so tall, and if I put it like that, it's obviously way unproportional to the vase. So I am going to raise it up a little bit. Oh, I'm not going to raise it up. I'm going to remove some of the top because, of course, odds are the top of this won't grow or open for a long time, and so it's probably going to dry out and die before we even get to see these top flowers. So of course I want to keep the bottom flower, so I'm going to remove it at about here. And then I'm actually going to take this, recut it, like I said, always a fresh cut, and I'm actually going to use it in here. Kind of start that drama. So, we're not being wasteful. These I'm not going to worry about where they're landing right now, just because I'm going to continue to add, and then they'll add more structure, and it'll be better. And then if you need more space on the stem, you can always snap some of those bottom flowers off. I'm just adding and adding. I've decided I actually want these to go off to the side since it's so heavy down on this corner, weight-wise in the design of it all. I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring it up this direction and keep it going that direction, and that way we can kind of add more over here and offset it all, and it'll look kind of cool. There are a lot of these, so I think I might save some for the other arrangement as well. Okay, so I'm gonna use this big wrap, if I can get it in here, and kind of choose what I want from it. So I definitely think these will be fun for this. Gonna remove these bottom ones, those look a little dead. also think we need one of these in here because it's just so fun and different. This greenery I'm going to save for after to fill in so you can't see the foam in the arrangements. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking this wax flower and I'm cutting it up with my shears because it is a very woodsy flower, and so it's really hard to get in there with my floral knife. And I'm just, once I've cut the piece, so let me cut a piece off. So I just cut a piece, and then there are little tiny little specks on there, so I'm just gonna take it off. That way it's not shredding the foam as it goes in. And then I'm just adding it to cute little places that I think would look nice in the arrangement. And so, like this little piece here, I want to use just the top of that, so that's going to kind of get lost. So I'm going to take it off. I'm being very careful as I do this. So I've slid it in through here, but then I have my hand here slowly guiding it in, because if I tried to use this hand and just shove it in, it's just going to break it. That are very, very fragile stems. So just be careful when you're designing in the foam, because it'll definitely break a little bit easier than putting it in a vase. Alright, so got done with that. Things are looking a little better, but of course this one still looks like it needs a lot of extra detail, so we keep moving. I'm keeping them bunched together. I like to kind of bunch flowers that are the same together. To me, it's a little bit more modern rather than just having like a variety all over, but it's definitely up to you and what your preference is. And when I place them, I'm placing them in all different directions. So as you can tell, I'm not just facing them all towards you guys. I have some facing me, facing there, facing up, facing over there. So that way it's a lot of depth and dimension going on in the arrangement. All right. I think I'm gonna add a couple of these in here, kind of go with the roses. Cutting them down so short that I am having to remove some of those bottom flowers. Not too bad for designing from the back. If you think that's impressive, leave a like down below. Also, while you're down there, feel free to subscribe. That way you can enjoy all my videos and get all sorts of ideas. That way you can start making fresh flowers for yourself and all of your friends and family. Because we already have so much purple in there and pinks, I'm gonna just use these white Veronicas. I know I've kind of gone away from that one, but we will come back to it. I just am on a roll with this one, so I want to keep going. So I'm gonna keep these long, of course, because they're beautiful long. Well, that was lucky. Right as I got done putting the last flower in this piece, the camera stopped recording, but I caught it just in time, so you didn't miss anything. So, what do we think? Let me take a look at it from this side, because I've just been looking at it from the back. I like it. I think I'm done. So I'm gonna take these green leaves now and just add them so that you can't see any of the floral foam. So the back of this is a little bare, so I'm just gonna go in with some of this wax flower. I think I just need a couple little sprigs of it, just so that it has some color and it's not just like stark green back here with the leaves. All right, one arrangement done. Okay, so for this one, it's looking good. See how everything is just like a straight line? So I kind of want to add something to kind of fill this part out so it's not just like, or all on one side. It makes sense in my head. I just think it looks really flat. So I just need to add some dimension up here so it doesn't look so weird, I guess. So I was thinking maybe some of this, since I already have white in there. This will be a nice springy one. I had to move it where it was. I didn't like it there. And that's okay. If you put something somewhere, it definitely does not have to stay there if you don't think it looks adequate. So I'm just actually gonna move some of these forward. That'll fix my problem. All right, we're getting somewhere, Looking a little better. Just gonna add some more of this to the back, just to put something a little bit nicer, because the back is looking a little flat as well. That's pretty cute. I think I'm gonna add 3 Veronicas to the mix, and I think I'm gonna be done, but I do have a secret little thing I'm gonna add. So stick around. And I'm gonna try and cut them all to different lengths. Okay, I know it's getting really tall again. Maybe pull this one a little forward and down. Bring this one up a little bit, which then moved this one, so then I gotta move that one again. And that's the other thing, just be careful, because once you start moving one thing, everything starts to move, but sometimes that's for the best, because then you'll just continue to move it until you like it, and then you're good. Okay, I think that's really cute. So for my secret add-in, I have floral wire. And what I'm gonna do is take it, I have my little pliers that I'm cutting it with. Gonna take it, make a loop, make another loop, and then I'm gonna actually use this. So I've anchored it on this flower here, and then I'm just gonna, because it's wire, it's just gonna stay wherever you put it. And just set it, and I'm looping it. I know you can't see. What I'm doing is I'm putting it around and then wrapping it around one of the flower stems in the vase. So now we have that little extra detail. And then I also have it in purple, which to draw it all together. And now you've kind of offset all these flowers with just a little bit of extra dimension. I'm actually going to put the purple in front of the gold. What do you think? Can you tell? I don't know. But there you have it. Thank you for watching. If you've made it all the way through, if there's anything that you want to make, definitely let me know down below. That way I can create it for you, kind of give you a step-by-step on how to get to, you know, what you're really wanting to make. Other than that, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope to see you next time. Other than that, bye!